Chicago to your speakers and headphones. I appreciate you tuning in to the first interactive sports podcast, the community that makes sure your voice is heard. So if you hear something you agree with, you like or you dislike, shoot us a quick take on the voicemail line. 219-413-9405. And of course, we will play your take back on our next episode. And then speaking of episodes, shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring this episode. Get $20 off your first ticket purchase when you use the promo code The Run Podcast. Now, this code can only be applied for first-time users on the mobile app or website. So I don't know about you, but baseball season, the playoffs are here, and you got to go check out some of this playoff ball. But look, man, I know I said Detroit to Chicago, but we going all the way to Cincinnati today because I got a special guest with me out here from Spectrum News, sports reporter Travis Hicks. What's going on with you, man? How you feeling today?
Feeling good, man. Excited to be back on the pod, man. You do such a great job. So it's always an honor talking sports with you, man. And a lot of great sports, especially from my hometown, Detroit, even though I'm in Cincy now, that I know we're going to catch up on. So super excited.
Yeah, man, I'm glad to have you on, and it's crazy, man. You're out there in Cincy, and I mean, so what? You about to be a Bengals fan now? What's you gonna stay with the hometown team, or who you gonna
staying with the hometown team? Always gonna be a Lions fan. But I will be honest, when Joe Burrow comes back, that offense will be lethal because Jake Browning is not the ideal guy, but Jamar Chase, T. Higgins with Joe Burrow, that's gonna be a dangerous trio. That's just my opinion.
It for sure will. Well, anyway, look, so this game that happened tonight, man, speaking of, I'm talking about which team you gonna favor and which team you gonna like. Well, the hometown team seemed to have the full advantage tonight because they smacked up the Bengals, ended up winning 37-24 in Cincinnati. So crazy game, but just kind of want to go over some positives, negatives from the Lions perspective. And then also too, we could throw in some from the Bengals perspective. So what's like one of the first things you've seen from the game where you like, all right, this was great from this team specifically, whether it's the Lions or the Bengals?
I got to go hometown team first. I'm going to say this might be a big take, but I just think it is. Gibbs and Montgomery are the greatest running back duo of all time.
All right, bro, come on, man.
No, hear me out. They just now had their 14th game where each one of them has at least one touchdown in the same game. They just, I believe, broke a record. They are the best running back duo ever. Gibbs is currently the best running back in the league, and Montgomery, there's no better second option than him. So I think the Lions showed that this offense is so lethal after the first game. Obviously against the Packers, they've scored 34 or more in every game since.
I lost you a little bit. Hold on, Travis. My bad, man. I lost you a little bit. I think I can hear you now.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. Okay, so I heard what you said, best running back duo. But as soon as you started explaining, it cut out. I couldn't hear you.
All right, no worries. You can hear me now though, right?
Yeah, yep, you crystal clear.
Yes, I'm going to start. They are the best running back duo of all time. David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs are the best running back duo ever. They've proved it time and time. You got to see your face, but I'm going to tell you why. They just had their 14th game where each one of them has at least one touchdown each. That is amazing. Gibbs is the best running back in the league right now, in my opinion. And Montgomery, there's no better second option. They keep proving it week in and week out. And the Lions have scored 34 or more points since week one, and that's due to the running game. And Jared Goff is playing outstanding football too. And John Morton was just as good as Ben Johnson. I've been seeing it crystal clear in my eyes.
Okay. All right, I am okay, some of these things, let's break this down because I agree with you to an extent on, this take here, and some things I disagree with. So first, I want to give, new offensive coordinator his flowers and stuff. I think a lot of people didn't really expect him to come in and continue this dominance from the Lions offense, truth be told. So definitely can agree there that he's doing his thing. The duo of Montgomery and Gibbs, I can even give you that they're the best running back duo because we just haven't seen teams be able to do that successfully. A lot of teams have a great backfield and a great running back room, but they haven't been able to really incorporate both backs into the game plan. That's extremely effective. So for example, I think of the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, they do have some great running backs over there, but they're just not able to incorporate it in an offense where they're both as dangerous every single time they're on the field, like we see what the Lions do with Montgomery and Gibbs. Also my team, Atlanta Falcons, Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier. Great running backs, but really Bijan is the only one getting to the shine. And that's what brings me to my point that you made here of you said Jahmyr Gibbs is the best running back in the league so far. No, I can't let that slide because that title goes to Bijan Robinson. Got to give it to Bijan. He's leading the league right now in all total yards. And this man has been just insane so far this season with a worse O-line than the Lions have. So I got to give it to Bijan, and maybe we'll have to revisit the conversation. But I don't want to stray away too far from what we initially started talking about, which was Bengals and Lions. But we'll revisit this conversation here with best running back in the league. But I think that is a crucial element to the Lions offense. That was one of the things I had as the positives in their game for sure, especially in this matchup with the Bengals.
Oh yeah, I think it was an interesting game. The offense played so well. Defense, most of the game, played well till the fourth quarter. Then as you see, the Bengals scored 21 points. Jake Browning was able to find Jamar Chase on a few great deep passes. And the one catch he had for the first touchdown, Jamar Chase caught an incredible ball. So defense has to get a little bit better. But one thing I'll say, another big thing I noticed, Hutch is back. Hutch is back. This man was on his way to win a Defensive Player of the Year last year before he broke his leg. Now this year, I think he's just going to be back in that running. I'm so happy to see him back at full strength. Another thing I want to say, Penei Sewell is one of the best players in the league. That every time when he's blocking, it sets the tone for the entire, offense. So that's one thing. The Lions, they're starting to hit the right strides at the right time. And this team is dangerous, man. I'm honestly, this might sound crazy. What I've watched today, I'm happy that they lost week one the way they did because they needed that growing pain to kind of showcase we're still the same team even without Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn.
Yeah, I mean, John Moore, like you said, with the offense, he's been killing it. Still coming up with some great plays and really having them show out and show up. So it's one of them things where you definitely got to give them their flowers. I think Kelvin Shepard on the defensive end has been doing a great job as well. And initially coming into the season, one of the things I thought was it's going to be very difficult for this Lions team to come in and stink it up with new coordinators, considering how much talent they have on both sides of the ball. I know a lot of people was worried about, is he going to be able to do this? And is he going to be able to do this? Is the offense going to be the same defense? What would it look like? But to me, I was the Lions still stand a good chance of being dominant, mainly because they have so much talent on both ends of the ball. The personnel they have on the O-line is great. Obviously, we know who they have on the backfield and receiving options. They have a lot of talent over there, and same for the defensive side of the ball. So to me, I didn't really think it would be these coordinators will come in and play terrible. Now, week one, like you said, I was oh man, I don't know what's going on, with this team week one. But ultimately, when they stepped it up, coming and hanging up all these high scoring games against teams, that really, shakes the tree a little bit, and it really make people realize okay, they just had one bad game. So some of the things too, I want to break down is the positives, negatives here. And one of the I'm gonna start with the negatives actually, because I gotta, let me just be a Daryl the Downer real quick on this team. I'm always trying to be the antagonist, but Jared Goff got sacked 3 times. I thought the offensive line did a terrible job at protecting Jared Goff. At certain times, they did good. Obviously, running the ball, they did pretty decent. But a team who's the Bengals, almost worst defense in the NFL, 3rd worst defense in the NFL statistically. Oh, man, I thought that was a very bad look that Goff got sacked 3 times. And then also, too, defensively, Terrion Arnold, man. Oh, man, this dude. Yeah.
He shouldn't be in the NFL.
That one hit a nerve. That one hit a nerve.
I don't think he should be in the NFL. I think he's just really bad at his job.
That's great. That's crazy. Terrion Arnold, 2 penalties on crucial downs. We talking 3rd downs. That would have been a good stop. We talking sacks and safeties that would have been, just monumental in terms of making the score look even worse than what it did. But ultimately, all of these things got called back because of holding calls and just silly penalties. But I will say, we talking about him when we say he doesn't look good, but he's injured. Now he's injured, and that's just another thing. That's kind of got to go on the negatives of, man, you can't watch a Lions game without people getting injured nowadays.
And that's one thing you no matter if a player's playing bad or good, we'd never wish injuries on nobody because we know how physical football is. Like we saw the hit with Khalif Raymond, like his neck. I was worried. I was like, man, I'm praying he's okay. You never want to even see that Terry on Arnold. I know I just said about him, but he did have some highlights. So he did make some like decent plays today, and I'm hoping he can keep that momentum because you got to be healthy to win. We saw this last year when the Lions went 15-2, and one of the main reasons they lost that divisional round game to the Commanders, they weren't healthy. They had over 20 plus guys on IR, mainly from defense. So I think health is going to be the biggest thing. And one other key I saw for positive for the Lions today, they are, in my opinion, the second best team in the NFC behind the Eagles. The reason why I'm still giving Eagles that reign is because they're the defending champs. I know they lost today, but they're still 4-1, and they're finding ways to win games, regardless if you like Hurts or not. They're winning games, so you got to give them that respect. But the Lions, if they can stay healthy, I do believe they can win the NFC. Today they showed me that they can win it.
Okay. Now, I'm glad you brought that up because this makes me think. A lot of people in the beginning of the season thought, okay, you lose both coordinators. No way they're going to go back and have success in the playoffs. Like the championship window is over. So you think that window is still open?
Yes. I'll be honest, at the beginning of the season, I wasn't sure because I wanted to see how they were. And even after the first game, I didn't jump ship. But now 5 games in, them winning 4 straight 4-1 against good teams. Yes, the Lions are the championship windows open. I would say this year, in my opinion, has to be the year because you never know how many opportunities you can have at the Super Bowl unless you have a generational quarterback like a Mahomes who's been to 5 or Brady who went to 10. We see a lot of different teams every year. The one thing that's great about the NFL is a lot of parity. So Lions, they got to get it this year.
Yeah, I think it's very crucial. I was also one of the people who said Lions missed their Super Bowl window. I was, hooting and hollering about it. I'm like, they didn't get it the past few years. And one year they let the 49ers come back. And the following year they got beat by the rookie. I'm like, oh, it's over with. I'm like, because contract time is going to be coming up pretty soon for a lot of the guys they drafted 2021, 2022. These contracts going to be coming up. And yeah, you might have money to pay 1 or 2 people or maybe even 3 people, but things get tricky when it's time to negotiate different deals. So that's one of the things I take into consideration. And then also just everybody around the league. Right now, you got a lot of injuries going on in the NFC. Even in the AFC as well. So I think obviously these injuries is happening to the Lions too, but it's going to be tough, man, throughout the course of the season as teams get healthy and go down and all of that. Like you just never really know how it's going to unfold. But I think so far, man, the Lions done proved that they still on the right track. So I'm not mad at the early on in the season and through the offseason of saying the Lions missed their Super Bowl window. So I ain't afraid to say I was wrong in that sense. But another thing here for the Bengals. So we look at the Bengals. Let's turn it around. And this is a team, they've been struggling, man. Bengals obviously lost Joe Burrow, who's their starting quarterback. So right now they're 2-3, just lost to the Lions, and Jake Browning is the quarterback. Like, is it time for a change? Do they need to start hitting people up and look for another quarterback or what?
I would say yes right now. I wouldn't get rid of Joe Burrow by any means. I think Joe Burrow is one of the best quarterbacks in the league. A little bit biased, being here in Cincy, but he is a guy who got you to a Super Bowl. Like, Joe Burrow is that guy. But right now, until he's back, I believe in December, they said, with the toe, I would get another quarterback right now. I would try to, get somebody who's like a backup who can't, who's, not really getting that PT because Jake Browning's just not that guy. At first, and I know this is like a curveball, but I was like, what if they got Shador? But Shador's not going to want to be behind, Joe Burrow forever. He would only just get those games. So if they do get a QB, I think they need to get somebody who knows that come December that, the job is going to go back to Joe Burrow. Preferably, and I'm saying this because of how he's playing, Mac Jones would have been ideal because you see what he's doing with the 49ers, in replace of Brock Purdy. I thought he would have been perfect for the Bengals because right now, if you keep starting Jake Browning, I hate saying it, you could miss the playoffs this year because you start off 2-0 with Burrow. Now you've lost 3 straight games.
They definitely gonna miss the playoffs if they continue to start Jake Browning because Jake Browning threw 6 interceptions in the last few games. So he was just giving away free money against the Lions here. And that was also, I thought about that a lot in this game too. It was kind of weird to me that Lions did have so many turnovers, like in terms of the defense forced so many turnovers, but the score, personally, I feel like the score should have been a little bit worse.
Oh, yeah.
Considering Jake Browning gave them like 2 or 3 interceptions. I felt like it should have been a little bit worse, but that's just me.
Oh, no, I agree with you, man. If we're being real, if you take away the 2 big plays from Jamar Chase, that's 14 points right there, then you're looking at a 37-10 win. Because, Jamar Chase got the 60-yard touchdown, then the one at the back of the end zone for the first one, which was a nice play.
Man.
I mean, if you take those 2 away, the defense really played lights out because the Bengals did score 21 in the third quarter. So the score was closer than what it really felt like because it felt like a 40-10 win, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that was rough, man. I thought Lions were gonna pull away at any moment and get 50, how they be trying to do and run it up on people. I thought that was coming very soon, but I mean, obviously it didn't unfold like that. But with the backup quarterback thing, kind of going back to that with the whole Jake Browning, what if I told you I had the perfect candidate for the Cincinnati Bengals?
I would ask you, who was that?
And I would tell you that the perfect candidate for the Cincinnati Bengals with Joe Burrow being out is Kirk Cousins, damn it. He's sitting on the bench with the Atlanta Falcons not doing anything. He's chilling right now. He's just waiting to get back on the field and show somebody that he knows how to play. The Cincinnati Bengals will give him that perfect opportunity in the perfect location because guess what they got? Wide receivers. They got Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. They got crazy options over there. Even Chase Brown is a good option to hand the ball off to. I know they have a terrible O-line, but sometimes that O-line does give a little bit of time, which we've seen Jake Browning have in this previous game. But with all of that being said, I know he has a big contract as well. It would just honestly help keep those postseason hopes alive for the Cincinnati Bengals if they did bring in Kirk Cousins, because this is a guy who, I mean, he's still elite in the league. Like when you talk about what he's done and what he can do in the NFL.
Honestly, Manny, we might not have the same agreements on a lot of takes, but you hit the ball 100%. I agree. Kirk Cousins, that's a perfect fit, because when you think about it, this is a man who's made postseason runs in Minnesota. Before he started playing bad, in Atlanta, he played good at the beginning last year. So Kirk Cousins has had his moments, and honestly, this is a man who's played with Justin Jefferson. In most people's eyes, the top guy as far as receivers in the league. So giving him a Jamar Chase and T. Higgins, especially with the veteran mindset, I think Kirk Cousins would be perfect. Now, the thing is with Kirk Cousins, he's not used to being benched outside of last year. Like, I don't know if you watched the quarterback series on Netflix. That got to him mentally. If Kirk Cousins comes to Cincinnati, hypothetically, get you some wins and say they're like 8-4 by the time Burrow comes back and they're on a win streak, is he going to really want to sit back down? That's one thing to take in consideration. But if he's willing to go in there and just perform the rest of October and November, then you got something.
So here's the thing. Here's where I think about when I come back to, when Joe Burrow does come back. Joe Burrow has this turf toe thing. Obviously, it's not sustainable when he comes back in December and even plays. Like, that's not even sustainable for him to do. Like, that injury causes for surgery. Like, he should go get the surgery and should have just been out for the season. But obviously, I get the competitiveness. You want to go help your team. You got a lot to prove because you were injured last year. So you just want to, you just want to play football. I get that narrative and I get that perspective. But even if Kirk Cousins does go to the Bengals, tears it up, Joe Burrow comes back in December, who's to say a guy who's been hurt in the last 3 seasons, every single season, doesn't get hurt again? Like, to me, that's a better location to be a backup quarterback than the Atlanta Falcons if I'm Kirk Cousins. And at least during that time, you'll get to showcase how much skill you still have. Because right now with Michael Penix Jr., like, he's probably not going to get another shot at starting with the Atlanta Falcons at all. So I just think about, like, with Kirk Cousins, if you're going to be a backup, at least be a backup somewhere you can play. And, like, for a quarterback who's always up and down. Personally, that's just the way I think of that situation.
I think that's a great move because Kirk Cousins, like we said, has that veteran experience, someone who's been to the postseason. And the Bengals are still in win now mode. You got a prime T. Higgins, you got a prime Jamar Chase. Both these guys got paid, so they're here to stay. You got to do something with that core. Like the Bengals, when you look at their track record, they made the Super Bowl in the 21-22 year. And the next year they lost an AFC title game. For the next 2 years after that, including this season, it's been injuries, and so we haven't been able to see them grow. And really, that sparks up a question when you talk about Joe Burrow being injury prone. Is their window at a Super Bowl closing? Because Jamar Chase and T. Higgins aren't going to get younger. They're still great. I'm not saying they're not declining, but it's like, how many years of their prime are you going to waste with Joe Burrow's injuries?
Yeah, I'm gonna tell you right now, and a lot of people are not gonna like it, but no, the Bengals Super Bowl window is done. I know I say this about a lot of teams. They like, oh, is their Super Bowl window open? I'm like, no, man, Bengals don't have enough defense for their Super Bowl window to still have some longevity because Hendrickson is about to be gone next year. They signed him to a 1-year deal just to keep him here for this season because they couldn't figure out how much else they were going to pay him. But best believe Bengals don't have the salary cap to even pay for Hendrickson, who's a force on that defense. So he's out of there as soon as somebody like the Cowboys, Eagles, hopefully the Falcons or the Lions or somebody offering him some money to come play defense. Bengals don't have it. They invested all their money into 3 or 4 players. So soon as he got up for negotiation, he's done. They're not bringing him back. And they just don't have enough defense, I don't think. They don't have enough wealth to go around because they've invested it in only like 4 or 5 players on the offense. So, I get it. It's very impactful 4 to 5 players, but it does take a full team to be able to win a Super Bowl. So that's like why I think the Bengals Super Bowl window is done.
And I mean, you make a good point because they put all their money really in Joe Burrow, T. Higgins, and Jamar Chase. Now, those are 3 like all-time guys in my opinion. But you need more than that to win a championship because when we see last year, even when the Bengals finished 9-8 and they finished the season on that 5-game win streak, Burrow's putting up 40 points. Like the offense putting up 40 points a game, but the defense allowing 45. Man. So it's like, they got hot late, kind of at the wrong time because they lost a lot of close games they should have won, but it was because of defense. So. I see what you mean. Being a little, being here in Cincinnati, I hope the window's not done because I truly believe Joe Burrow. Like, if we're being honest, this might be a hot take, but I don't really think it is if you look at the numbers. If the Bengals made the playoffs and had a better record last year, Joe Burrow could have easily been the MVP. His numbers were just as good as Josh Allen's, if not better, than like him or Lamar Jackson. So, it's tough right now because this would be the time to win a Super Bowl because of the injuries we saw around the league. The Ravens, have, obviously Lamar Jackson's not playing, other injuries, with other teams. So, it makes a good point.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more with you, especially about the MVP thing. Man, I couldn't agree more. And I think for your sake and for just Joe Burrow's sake and for the sake of good football, honestly, I hope he is healthy come December, and I hope they make a good run, and I hope he can stay healthy. And honestly, that's what's really going to determine if that Super Bowl window is open or closed, how much Joe Burrow can stay healthy because we've seen him get all the way to the Super Bowl with a bad O-line. So I'm sure he can make something else happen. But other than that, look, man, we're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to jump into who's the true contenders early on through week 5. It's a lot of noise going on. Some teams playing bad, some teams playing good. So we'll jump into that. We'll discuss all of that. But above all, man, Travis is staying here with me. So we're going to jump into this new segment in just a sec, but we'll take a quick break first. It's halftime. We'll be right back. All right, can you hear me?
Oh, yeah. Outside that audio miscue, did it still sound okay?
Yeah. It was fine. And then, if anything, I'll just edit that part.
Okay. I got the Wi-Fi should be straight, but I'm going to, this week.
It could have been me, too, bro. It honestly could have been. My Wi-Fi be shaky as hell sometimes for no reason. So, it could have definitely been me.
I'm still moving some stuff around because I just moved in literally yesterday, in this apartment. Because I've been living out of a hotel for a week because my apartment wasn't ready till yesterday.
Damn. Also, too, Trav, don't forget, I'm still alive, so don't share anything you don't want the whole world to know.
Okay. Well,
that's cool. I just wanted to give you a heads up,
yeah.
just in case, it's not. It's like
times are hard, man.
I mean, yeah, it is fine. I just told you I was on a futon when I first moved out here. Eating pizza on the floor.
Man, I like Cincy though. It's been cool, man.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for that, man. That's about to be dope. And for your sake in the sports world, hopefully Joe Burrow do his thing.
Yeah, at least the Reds
I know damn well you don't want Ohio State to be the one that you gotta be bragging and boasting about.
All my people out here that I've already met, it's tough. All they do is bleed red, and I get it, but I'm Michigan all day.
So this is what I determined, bro. I really realized Ohio State and Michigan are so the fans are so similar. It's ridiculous.
I know it is.
Really ridiculous. And even the the area, the campus is ridiculous. Columbus is practically Ohio State.
Oh yeah.
Like even if just like how Ann Arbor is practically U of M. It's insane. But that like yeah, man, it's ridiculous. Like
You
how
know,
similar it is. The first time I was in Columbus, I'm like, damn, I feel like I'm in Ann Arbor. Like this is great. It was weird. It was so crazy.
you know what's weird that I've even seen it here, and I always see back at home. There's people that are born and raised in Metro Detroit like me. They're Ohio State fans, never no affiliation with Ohio State. Then I get to Ohio, people who've never been to Michigan, they're Michigan
Michigan
fans. I'm
fans.
like you all are weird. Like,
It is
that's,
weird. I'm on that bus though. I probably
you're
would
not
never
a
be a
Michigan
Michigan
guy,
fan.
but you're
Nah,
from,
I'm from like 10 minutes from Ann Arbor,
yeah, that's crazy.
Belleville, but I'm
Are you
from
a
so
state
close.
fan?
I like if I have to choose out of the two,
Okay,
I
so
would
you're like
choose Michigan
MSU.
State any day. But the team I really cheer for is Bama, man.
Oh yeah, you are a Bama fan. You did
Yeah,
say
I'm
that.
gonna be
Hey,
a Bama guy forever,
they're
bro.
looking. Ty Simpson's been looking good the past few weeks.
Hey,
They just
I'm
beat
shocked.
Vanderbilt. Yeah, so
Yeah, I'm shocked. It had me scared for a minute in that Vanderbilt game. I
they're
was
going
like,
to be ranked higher now because Penn State lost to a winless team,
Penn
UCLA,
State.
and Texas lost to Florida.
Yeah, I'm sure we should be up there because I think before coming into this week, I think we was like 16th or something like that.
Yeah, Bama was 10 when they beat Vanderbilt, so they should be in the top 10 now, especially with Penn State losing. They should be nowhere near the top 10. They lost to a team not only unranked, but they hadn't won a game.
Yeah,
And
Penn
Texas
State.
lost their second game.
Let's see. It should be out now. I think we moved up to number 8. Yeah,
No, they moved up
Bama.
to number 8. Michigan's
Bama moved up.
15.
Michigan is 15. Wait, ain't y'all undefeated?
No, Michigan lost to Oklahoma second game of the season.
Oh, that's what it was.
Tough one.
Oklahoma. Damn, I'm shocked they didn't put y'all up higher.
They should because Michigan's been Bryce Underwood is nice, man. So he kind of
He
grew
is
up near where you grew up too. I think he's from Belleville.
Belleville. Yeah, Belleville alone. Same high
Yeah.
school.
Oh, damn,
Same
that's
high
what's up.
Yep, same high school. So they got OSU, Miami, Oregon, Ole Miss up there.
Hey, starting quarterback from Ole Miss. I've interviewed him from Ferris State. He transferred there this year.
Yeah,
From the champions.
I seen that. I see you had him. I see you put him on your story and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm like,
trained
that's
as a
dope.
dog.
Yeah, that's dope. Ferris alum, you gotta love that. Gotta love that. All right. Let me pull this up so we can go ahead get this part taken care of.
Oh, yeah, no, I know. Me and you will just end up just talking.
I know. I'm like the whole episode end up just going. All right. Let's see. So these contenders, man. I got some teams in here.
Okay.
I got some teams. All right, let's do it. Oh, way louder. All right, man. Welcome back to the Run with me, Manny Wilson. I'm still here with my special guest, Travis Hicks. I mean, he's here all the time, so how special can I say it is? But Travis, man, look. So let's talk about some of these teams that's true contenders. It's week 5 in the NFL. Some of these teams are looking good. Some of these teams are not looking bad. So it's time we kind of make a prediction that's way too soon. And since it's so early in the season. So first team right now, man, I just want to throw them out there. If they're like a true contender or not, because they're 4-1. They've been beating some teams. They got a quarterback who's not even a starter, who's playing pretty good. Is the 49ers like true contenders or what?
No. Mac Jones is playing amazing, and I like Mac Jones. I'm happy he's playing better, but they're not. 49ers are a team that will get there. Like they always, I saw a stat where they get to the NFC title game like every other year, but they don't win. I don't trust them. I don't think they can beat the Rams, Eagles, or Lions in the playoff game.
Yeah, you're not wrong. And also, too, one of the things that needs to be considered with the San Francisco 49ers is, yeah, I get it. These wins look nice. And any win in the NFL is tough. Granted, if my team was winning like this, I would be yapping and stuff too. But one thing you got to take into consideration is the 49ers arguably have the easiest schedule in the NFL.
Oh, yeah.
Without a doubt. Without a single doubt. They're not playing that many tough teams. I think they only got maybe like 2 or 3 playoff teams from last year, if that. So this is like, they should be winning a lot of these games. And I know they have some injuries on their side on both sides of the ball, truthfully. But, I don't think 49ers haven't really shown me anything where I'm convinced that they are like elite contenders so far in this season. So I'm glad we can kind of agree on that part.
Oh, yeah, because and I know I just said they can't beat the Rams in a playoff game. They did beat the Rams I believe it was last Thursday. And that was a good win, but in the playoffs, I don't see them beating the Rams or Eagles or Lions or
Yeah.
I just feel like the Mac Jones magic's going to run out. But he is playing good, so shout out to him. He's stepped in for Brock Purdy.
Definitely. He definitely doing his thing. So I ain't mad at that either. So another team, are they contenders or what? The Tampa Bay Buccaneers, are they contenders? I mean, they got the record to look like contenders. They got someone who we could possibly even argue is an MVP candidate.
I'm going to say yes. The reason why, Baker Mayfield is that guy. And the Baker Mayfield showed time in and time out that he is that guy. And I think he's someone who's going to get them to the playoffs like he did the last 2 years. They ran into, obviously, us, and they ran into the Eagles. When you look at their playoff, resume over the last few years. But Baker is someone who can get them to the NFC title game. I'm not going to say they're a Super Bowl contender, but there's someone, I wouldn't be shocked if the Buccaneers got to an NFC championship game because Baker's been good, especially when they get Mike Evans back. That's a lethal offense. And Mike Evans, someone whose longevity doesn't get talked about. To get 1,000 yards receiving every single year and be this good when you've obviously played with the GOAT Brady, but with Jameis Winston, and you still get it, and now with Baker. And Baker's really, talking about Baker, he's turned his career around. This was a guy who was hopping from team to team, and this is random, but I'm going to say this. Baker Mayfield is really like the Chauncey Billups of the NFL as far as the Pistons version. Because Baker was somebody who, top guy, talked about draft pick, then got moved around, then finally found that team, and now you're seeing his potential.
I ain't mad at that. And I think with the way Baker Mayfield is playing, it's hard not to consider this, this Tampa Bay Buccaneers team as a true threat. And honestly, I'll be 100% honest. I hate that Baker Mayfield landed in the NFC South. Why couldn't he have been somewhere else in a different division? Because this guy is consistently going to be a problem for my Atlanta Falcons. And at this point, it's evident. I've accepted it. I've made peace with it. But he's elite. And you got to, at some point, start considering Baker Mayfield as an MVP candidate because he's been playing so great. Not only the last few years, but coming into this season. He had 3 comeback wins in the first 3 game-winning drives in the first 3 games of the NFL season. So, things like this is just crazy from a quarterback. And, Baker Mayfield, he got his team winning. He pulling out close games. He got game-winning drives. He getting his receivers touches. He got the rookies shining. Like, hey, man, I have nothing bad to say about the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm a little afraid being a team that's in the NFC South, but I would be foolish to say that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers aren't true contenders in the NFC right now. So there's another team here. I'm going to throw some curveballs at you because some of these teams, it's still early. So we don't know exactly what we're getting right now. The Minnesota Vikings, are they contenders or what?
I love J.J. McCarthy. I think he's amazing. Justin Jefferson's arguably the best receiver in the league. A lot of talent on that team. Addison, you still got Dalvin Cook, but no, they're not contenders. They're not better than us, the Lions, and they're not better than the Packers. So there's already 2 teams in the division. Really, them and the Bears could be a game. So I'm going to say no, just because they're in the toughest division of football. But JJ has a bright future, in my opinion, when he gets fully healthy. Carson Wentz has done a decent job, but they're not contenders. Wow.
Okay. All right. So I don't disagree with you. I think it's still too early to tell, though. This is what makes it tough because it's only been 5 games so far, so it's still a little too early to tell. Who's to say Carson Wentz don't heat up? Who's to say like the offense just doesn't heat up in general? Because one thing you got to remember with the Vikings, and I know they struggle sometimes on both ends of the ball, but they do have a solid defense, and that's the part where it's like I can't completely eliminate them from the contenders conversation, but through week 5, I think it is fair to say that they're not true contenders as of right now. Is there any teams in the AFC that you think are like maybe a true contender or that just has the hype but not really going to live up to it?
So you're saying, is there a team that I do think is a contender?
In the NFC, yeah.
Oh, in the NFC. Oh, I'm going to go with my team, the Lions, for sure.
Okay, well, yeah,
you meant like a team?
No, that's cool.
Actually, I'll give you one who I actually think is a contender outside of obviously hometown bias. I'm going to say the Rams. And the reason why I'm saying the Rams, Stafford is still vintage Stafford. I don't care what nobody says. If you're a real Detroiter, Stafford is one of the greatest quarterbacks to ever play. I'm not saying he's the GOAT or top 10. He just has one of the greatest arms we've seen. And you see when he has a team around him, he's not only won a Super Bowl, but this man has given Cup one of the greatest receiving seasons we've ever seen. Calvin, one of the greatest receiving seasons. Now he's going with Puka. Stafford is still that guy. He's still doing the sidearm. I'm not doing it right, but you know what I mean? Like he's doing the
Yeah,
sidearm all
yeah.
down the field. And the Rams are a team, to be honest, that can beat the Eagles in a playoff game and can beat the Lions. I'm not saying they will, but those are teams that are capable. So the Rams in Sean McVay's system, they're a team that can easily win a Super Bowl if everything goes right and they stay healthy.
Damn, that's a good team, and that's a good point there. And I'm on your side actually on this. I want to disagree with you so bad. Like I'm waiting until we find a team that I disagree with you on. But I think that's going to be in the AFC. But for the Rams, I completely agree, man, because Stafford has proved that he's still elite. And as long as Stafford is on that Rams team, I think they have a big shot at getting to the playoffs and honestly knocking somebody out of the playoffs too. So couldn't agree more on that. But let's move over to the AFC. So AFC is interesting because it's kind of a lot of new teams. All the teams that we thought were going to be really good are really bad so far through the first 5 weeks of football. So I'm going to try and throw a curveball here. Do you think the Baltimore Ravens are still contenders through week 5?
Lamar Jackson's my fantasy quarterback. But no, they're not contenders. The window is closed.
No.
I'm going to say this. I think the window even actually, I'm not going to say I don't think the window of winning a Super Bowl is closed because Lamar's amazing. But this year, they're not contenders. Derrick Henry can't hold on to he's built like LeBron. He can't hold on to the ball, which is insane. And Lamar Jackson, sometimes he'll look like MVP and other times he'll look like James Harden in the playoffs. So they're not contenders, especially with his injury. Nah, they're not contenders.
Oh, man. All right. So I agree with you to an extent. Man, the Ravens we've seen have looked garbage. This version of Lamar Jackson, I don't know who the hell this man is, bro. This is not the Lamar Jackson who I will vouch for every single day because I have nothing good to say about what I've seen from Lamar Jackson so far this season. Derrick Henry, dog. Oh my, it's so impressive what Derrick Henry is doing at age 31, I believe he is, or in his 30s. But, dog, you got to hold on to the ball, man. This is like 2 games or possible game-winning drives where he fumbled the ball and let it go. So he hasn't been playing good. The defense has been getting just dog-walked, man. The defense has been getting just man, I'm trying to stay appropriate, but the defense has been getting dogged. I'm going to just say it as simple as that. So this Ravens team, I don't have a lot of confidence in them right now through week 5, but I still say they are contenders. And the reason I say they're contenders is because they have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. So the same reasons I'm disappointed in the Ravens right now, it's kind of the same reasons I still want to give them the leeway to say they're contenders, even though they play like trash so far through week 5.
Let me ask you this. One, I love you, Manny, but you're wrong. Is he gonna come up in a big game though? When is Lamar gonna win a big game? Even I know he got hurt in the Chiefs game, but he's had plenty of times. You'll be honest, the best chance he had of winning a Super Bowl was a 23-24 year when they lost 17-10 against the Chiefs in the AFC title game at home. I'm not saying Lamar won't win a Super Bowl, but I really think that was his best chance because there's one man I'm going to bring up why I don't think he will, but I'll save that for a minute.
Pat Mahomes, bro. Are you gonna bring up Pat Mahomes?
Well, yeah, I was gonna wait for you if you were gonna ask me.
He can't beat him in the playoffs. I get it. Trust me. Okay. Every time I cheer for Lamar Jackson to win in the playoffs whenever he plays Patrick Mahomes or Josh Allen. And I think that year was the crucial year he could have did. That 22-23 year was that year he should have done it. But he can't beat him. And neither can Josh Allen. As much as I like both of those guys, for some reason they cannot beat Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. I'll be honest.
Hey,
Mahomes got his lick back though the following year in the AFC title game in 23. I'm gonna say this.
He did.
They are a contender, the Chiefs. The Chiefs, I thought Mahomes was washed. I'll be honest. Shout out our mentor Rob Parker. Love Rob. Also just got inducted to the Hall of Fame at his thing. Rob said Mahomes was Daniel Jones, and I was like, Rob, that is asinine, and that's ridiculous.
Right,
but looking at the numbers,
come on, Rob.
And I love Rob. I was like, that's ridiculous. But looking at the numbers, Mahomes, was really bad last year. Then the year before, when they won the Super Bowl, his numbers were okay. But what I saw in that Ravens game reminded me Mahomes is still that guy in big games, and they're getting Rashee Rice. I think the Chiefs. I didn't think this at the beginning of the year. But I think they're going to find a way to win the AFC once again. As amazing as Josh Allen is, I think he's going to lose to Mahomes once again.
All right, Travis, come on, man. I can't let you go with that. Man, they had so far this season and through week 5, they had the one really good game, and it was against a just awful Baltimore Ravens team. Baltimore Ravens defense was not clicking at all. They already have some injuries on the defense as well, which doesn't help to their case of being strong on that defensive side. But when they played Pat Mahomes, he lit them up. And I got Pat Mahomes as a fantasy quarterback, so I was happy about that part. But watching that game, it was clear that that was not the Ravens team that we're all used to seeing, especially from the offensive side of the ball as well, because no Lamar Jackson. So, that game kind of just, it just died down early. And then you know how it goes too when the offense can't put any pressure on the opposing team's defense. Like it's a weird thing. And I always thought it was weird that people be like, oh, Lamar Jackson versus Patrick Mahomes, when the two never play against each other. But truthfully, that pressure adds to the element of being able to produce on the offensive end. So if you got Lamar Jackson getting his team in great scoring positions, getting touchdowns, putting up numbers, that puts pressure on Pat Mahomes to get his offense downfield and also score. There was no pressure on Pat Mahomes and the Chiefs to have any of the offense go down and score. Obviously they did, but the pressure just makes it completely different. And we've known, Pat Mahomes can deal with the pressure, but in an exhibition game, it's hard to compare and say the Chiefs gonna be back and the Chiefs is gonna do this when they played against a sorry Baltimore Ravens team early on in the season.
The one thing, Manny, I got to be real, I seen the light. I didn't see it at the beginning of the season, but I seen the light. Like Mahomes, we said this last year. Obviously, they lost the Super Bowl, but they still made it. The year before, when they won back-to-back Super Bowls, it was like, oh, this is the year Allen's going to get him. I don't think they can beat him in the postseason. I really don't. Maybe the 5th time's a charm, but Josh Allen's 0-4 versus Mahomes in the postseason.
Yeah, it's sick, man. It's sick. Everybody struggle against him in the postseason, which is crazy. But I mean, man, look, you just never know, man. Our teams get hot sometimes, and I think maybe we see the case of, hey, the Ravens, they start off bad, and when Lamar Jackson comes back, maybe they get hot. Maybe they figure it out, like we see with, like we've seen with Joe Burrow every season that he's been playing. Is they start off bad, and then all of a sudden they hot and they in the playoffs. So maybe that same thing could be the case, but I'm not really completely sold on the Chiefs, man. I don't think the Chiefs really got it yet. I ain't really. I'm just not convinced. I haven't seen anything from them yet where I'm like, all right, the Chiefs is back. Like, yeah, they play good against a beat-down Ravens team, but show me that against the Lions. Show me that against the Bills in the regular season. We gonna see. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Just like I need to see more from the Kansas City Chiefs to be on their side of all right, they're actual contenders. Coming up this season through week 4.
They play the Lions next up, so that'll be an interesting game.
I think they got 2. I think they got Jaguars first and then Lions.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. For next week, they play the Lions a Sunday night game.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yep, I forgot they still played it. I'm thinking it's Monday, bro. I'm tweaking. Okay, so this brings me to another question. Is the Indianapolis Colts, are they contenders?
No. Daniel Jones got off to a great start. I think Daniel Jones' run right now reminds me of, when we were kids, we used to see Jeremy Lynn Sandy for 12 games. That's what Daniel Jones, it's amazing to see, but it's not going to last. They're not contenders. Jonathan Taylor is amazing. He's my fantasy running back. He did actually a really good job today. But no, they're not contenders. I don't think they can beat a healthy Ravens. I don't think they can beat the Chiefs, Bills. I don't even think they can beat the Chargers in the playoffs. But
that's a good Colts.
Oh yeah, the Colts are playing good though. So shout out Daniel Jones. He is putting up numbers, but I think come playoff time is going to be different. And also, I think their gas is going to run out at some point.
Wow, I'm shocked because I completely disagree. Nah, man, I think that's a good football team over there in the Colts. It is early, and they're 4-1. They're beating teams. They look good. Anything can happen. They don't really have the history of being dominant all through the course of the season. But I think this is a team they're a solid football team, and Daniel Jones is completely different, bro. Daniel Jones is not New York Giants Daniel Jones. This Daniel Jones is a couple steps down from what we've seen with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay. I know it sounds ridiculous. I know it sounds crazy, but this Daniel Jones with the Colts, it's completely different. He's getting passes out accurately, on time, and he's taking care of the ball as he's doing all of that. And then not to mention, he got a great running back in Jonathan Taylor too. So like this Daniel Jones and the Colts offense, I love what I'm seeing from them. The defense steps up big too. But I think the Colts, man, is serious contenders right now. And I think they will be contenders down the line in the AFC. I think they can beat somebody in the playoffs and, make something happen. I ain't saying they're going to win a Super Bowl, but they can definitely eliminate a solid team in the playoffs in a wild card game or something like that. So I'm going with contenders, man.
Okay. That's a good point, though. I like the points you made.
Yeah, it's still early. So this is where the fun is with this. So last team here, I'm going to go. And then unless you have some teams where you want to just throw them in and, we chop it up about them too. But the Denver Broncos, are they contenders or what?
Great win today beating the Super Bowl champions. Broncos, I'm going to say no, but they can make the playoffs. I just don't know if they can beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, Bills, Ravens, or even another team in their division, the Chargers. But I do think Bo Nix is nice, and he's proven me wrong. I think they can get to the playoffs, but they're not a championship contender, no.
That's valid. And I actually very much agree. I think they're a good team. I think they'll have their ups and downs throughout the course of the season where they'll be playing really good and get a lot of hype. And then they'll probably have some slumps too throughout the course of the season. But I see them as a wild card team. Maybe they do win a first wild card game. Maybe they lose. But I don't think they're just yet at their peak. And I think there is a lot of room to improve with this Denver Broncos team. So to me, not true contenders just yet so far throughout the season, but maybe that'll change as, the course of the season goes on. So other than that, though, man, look, those are most of the teams I'm just thinking about in terms of being contenders or if they're, still need some work or whatever the case is. So other than that, Travis, man, let the people know where they can find you, where they can keep up with your work and all kind of things like that as well.
Hey, appreciate you, man. I want to say it's always amazing being on the podcast with you, man. You do such an amazing job. And everybody can follow me on Instagram at Travis6_reporter. And my Twitter's Travis_reporter. Facebook just Travis Hicks. And on YouTube it's Travis6_reporter. Starting to put weekly content out. And it's always a great time talking sports with Manny.
Of course, man. Well, I'm glad to have you. And, I'm going to just go ahead and show the one little comment that, another comment that we got here. Patrick Holmes is not Daniel Jones. Ain't nobody saying Daniel Jones.
Wait, who said that?
Zach J. Zach J said Pat Mahomes is not Daniel Jones. He's Kermit.
I love that. Look, I love that. That's funny.
I get it, man. I'm just saying Daniel Jones is playing better. Daniel Jones is playing better. That's it. That's all I'm saying. Pat Mahomes, he ain't look. They still got a lot to prove. I'm going to leave it at that. Other than that, man, look, we'll catch y'all later on this week, man. Sunday recording today, so it was a little weird for me. Threw me off, too. But, again, man, so glad you was able to jump on and kick it on the episode. For anybody listening, man, share this with a cousin, a brother, an uncle, niece, nephew. Also, follow us on Instagram at The Run Podcast, TikTok at The Run Podcast, YouTube, The Run with Manny Wilson. And then the positive note, the last little thing I'll leave here, it's just going to be, don't be afraid to take risks, man. Chances make champions. And I'm going to leave it at that. Interpret that however you want to, but chances make champions. Go ahead and take those risks, even though it might be scary on the other side. But sometimes the thing on the other side is what you might really enjoy and might be the best part of your life. So I'm going to leave it at that. Other than that, man, that's all we got. I'll be back later on this week. And so on and so on and so on.